Bombing, episode 78.
All right, thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah, man. So, of course, so happy to be here.
If you look closely at your glass, you will see that it is a bombing podcast glass.
Oh, wow. Did you guys make these?
Our mother made them.
Yes.
Oh, that is beautiful. That is
Yes.
lovely.
They're very nice. They're hard to see because we only drink vodka tonics out
Yeah,
here.
we need to get a couple rum and cokes in the game, and
Yeah,
then
that
maybe.
definitely will be the smart. That definitely be the smart room.
Fucking labels out. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to episode 78 of Bombing Podcast with very special guest, Stanley Swerdlow.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here.
Thanks
It's an
for
honor.
coming.
It's an
Thanks
honor.
for coming, brother.
I'm very excited. I got to sit in the booth earlier. I don't know if you could see it, but the fans know the booth.
They know the booth.
Yeah,
They know the
get
booth.
it. They understand the booth.
I was saying that, I felt more like the chills from sitting in that. I don't even think sitting in the Oval Office chair would be as cool as sitting in that booth.
The booth is pretty legendary in the open mic community.
Yeah, it's like sitting behind Johnny Carson's desk.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean-
being on the set.
I mean, it's like getting called to the couch. It's
Yeah.
getting the chance to sit at the
The
booth.
casting booth.
Yeah, it's that booth right there.
The most uncomfortable porn fuck of your life.
in a restaurant.
Yeah,
booth.
in a restaurant booth. This is a comedy podcast. If there are any new listeners, we're all open micers out here in Los Angeles. We talk about stand-up and other stuff.
Yeah.
And we also have an email. This podcast has an email, which we'll check at the end of every episode. bombingpodcast@gmail.com. That's the email, folks. Email us anything you want. Pictures of illegal things. I don't know. We'll look at them. And, we'll check your questions.
Wrong city to ask that. Wrong city to ask that.
Yeah. I shouldn't have asked that. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
But bombingpodcast@gmail.com. We'll check that at the end. Where did we meet? We met you at Badger, right?
I assume we met at Badger and Jam.
I think that's where.
I also assume on a Wednesday because you guys are like the kings of Wednesday.
Wednesday late night.
We
Yeah.
never miss a Wednesday.
You never miss a Wednesday. I have to make sure to get signed on Wednesday to make sure. So I'm with the kings of Wednesday night.
Well,
the kings of Tom Kelly night.
well, that's funny. Yeah, the host Tom Kelly, he's been on a few times. Great host, hilarious dude. It's funny that Wednesday night spots has become like a hot ticket.
Yeah.
Like, it sells out really quick. You got to really be on it.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while, Tuesday I would say also that's definitely one of the big because that's roast battle night,
Yeah,
and because Badger and Jam also is just a parking lot.
it is.
Yeah.
It's a
A lot of people you'll see there on Tuesday nights, like they'll run their roast battle material and then just walk down to the Comedy Store.
I've done
go
that.
on.
I've been that person.
And
Very
that's
proud.
so fun to see. That's so fun to see, especially like I've seen Luke Walls countless times run his roast battle jokes at Badger and Jam like an hour before his battle, and then I've walked down there with him and seen him win.
I was just gonna say, yeah, we got the privilege one time of seeing him run his roast battle jokes, and like at the open mic, most of the people in the crowd don't know the guy is roasting, so he'll throw these jokes out, and like some of them will hit, some of them will miss or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we got to walk down to the store with him and see him go on, and he's just demolished.
He's 10-0.
I know. I'm one of those. I'm one of the people he has defeated.
Oh no!
Oh, for real?
no!
I didn't know you roasted
yeah?
battle of Luke. Tell us about
first
that.
time I ever roast battled was against Luke.
Oh, my
First
God.
person.
You chose a formidable first opponent, sir.
Well, he wasn't. He'd only done it a couple times, but
Yeah.
I still knew. Oh, I mean, it was my first time, and I just wanted to do it against him, and I think I knew it would be a challenge, but I think I knew deep down I was gonna lose, even if there was any narcissistic part of me that was like, I'm gonna win. I didn't think I was gonna win. I just knew I didn't want to bomb. I didn't want to do bad, and that didn't happen. Because he definitely does. Everyone, it was kind of funny. Every judge said the exact same thing. Both of you guys were good, but Luke was definitely a little better.
Damn.
It was that was said every time, and I was okay with that. 'Cause I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
well, I didn't do, and Luke was really enjoyed the battle too. We had a great time. I think the main
If
goal.
you're gonna lose to anybody,
Yeah. The main
gotta take
goal, I think the main goal with roast battle is just to make sure, even if win or lose, you don't do bad. So if you do good, if you have good jokes, and people
Yeah.
were saying that to both of us, so it was an amazing time.
that's good. That's got to be hard. Have you done a roast since then?
I've done two.
Two.
The second time I battled my roommate,
Mm.
and he also won, and then the third time was like a couple months ago. I battled Tyler Strauss.
Yeah.
and then I won that.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So 1 and 2.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go.
Pretty good record.
Yeah, pretty good.
Luke Walls has that Floyd Mayweather record.
He's got that money mindset, dude.
Untouched.
He's got the literal belt.
Yeah, 10-0, the belt holder of the roast battle at the Comedy Store.
I mean, a legend.
Also, just to be able to get up in the belly room, just to like go up on stage at the Comedy Store to do anything, that's like
highly recommend doing it, just because they will let anybody.
Yeah.
They will, and I mean this so sincerely. They will let anybody. There's people on there. You're like, what? But they will let anybody. And it's
how do you get signed up?
Oh, it's really easy. You just email them. They have a roast battle at like gmail.com. You email them, who you are, who you want to battle, and why. They'll give you a day. That's it. Real easy.
Wow.
And again, it's a very easy way to just perform at the belly room at the Comedy Store. So
get some eyes on you, some important eyes.
Roast battling your roommate must have been like borderline emotional. You probably had some deep cuts. Like you left the dish towel out fucking too long. It's like, because when you live with somebody, you're so close to them that those cuts go so deep.
Yeah, we were smart. We just made bits about we did jokes about our appearance and personality. We didn't go for the.
So it was like surface level stuff.
We didn't. I just genuinely didn't have any complaints with him as a roommate. I just love him too much. No.
That's all you can ask for.
Well, it was really funny because he wore a suit.
All right.
He wore a suit.
Interesting move.
He wore a suit. He was just, he's a very immediately lovable guy.
Does he do stand up as
well? No, he sometimes does stand up. He does comedy. He's an incredibly funny guy.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't necessarily do stand up. He'll like do bits with it. He plays harmonica. He'll do bits with his harmonica. He does just like. He's very much a performer.
Right on.
He's done the Tomorrow Show with Ron Lynch. Ron Lynch is he's like a comic. Like I think.
I know that name. I know who
he's
Ron
a big
Lynch
alt
is. Yeah.
I think like an old comic. He has this incredible show at the Elysian Theater, which is like in Echo Park. It's a show called The Tomorrow Show, which is a show at midnight. Starts at midnight.
Wow.
A lot of weird acts. Like, if anything, like doing regular stand-up's the worst thing you can do because it's like there's like people that do things with puppets, like characters, bands. Again, puppet shows. I've seen some weird things, but it's brilliant. Like it's one of the best shows. I mean, I saw one of my favorite, a comedy band that's now just become my favorite band in general. It's an amazing, an amazing show. Highly recommend going. And even if you just they do a show called 5 Minutes or Die.
Okay.
Where
are those the real consequences? Do they kill you?
Well, no. It's that you have 5 minutes, and at the 5 minute mark, no matter what, it's going to cut to the lights are going to go off.
Ooh.
Just no matter what.
Ooh. You know what's funny though? My 5 minute radar is pretty locked in at this point. Like I know what 5 minutes is. I've done 5 minutes so many times. Like I can feel out a 5 minute set.
Hey, you know what 5 minutes is now because of all the meticulous times of running the light.
Yes.
Now you have it real dialed in.
I used to run the light quite a bit.
Yeah, it's actually really funny because I've been going to some OA meetings, Overeaters Anonymous, and each time you speak, like they do a thing where each person gets to speak, and you have 3 minutes. So
you're like, that's a set at the Improv. I'm
no,
good.
it's very fun. I was just like, and you get like a timer. A timer goes off to let you know you have a minute left. So there's an inherentness to program meetings where you just naturally it's like you have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you kill?
Do you some jokes in there?
It's all I'm thinking about, but I don't. I mean, you definitely
it's probably best not to fool around.
No, but people joke.
Serious.
People plenty joke because everyone is there for the same reason, so it's very easy to make a joke. I remember I heard a saying, Al-Anon meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone said in an Al-Anon meeting, at an AA meeting, everyone's laughing. At an Al-Anon meeting, everyone is crying. Which is a very true. And as someone who went to an Al-Anon for a few years, I agree.
Damn.
But those meetings can be, funny. I mean, because I think it's the only time you can make jokes about your problems, and everyone will get it.
Yeah, you got a room full of people who
that
can
understand.
relate.
You have a room full of people,
Yeah, talk about a target audience, man.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's it.
I've heard a lot of good things about the Elysian. I used to work with this buddy. His name's Spencer, and he does sort of like not jokey stand-up. He does like bits, like
Yeah.
acting outy bits, and he goes to the Elysian all the time.
It's a place a lot for that,
Yeah.
especially the Tyler. I would also just recommend just going to the Tomorrow Show just to watch. It is a fun. Ron's amazing. The his co-host is. His co-host is a genius. His
Right
co-host is really. He's done maybe my favorite bit I think I have ever seen in my entire life. He's just really fun, and they have a piano player. It's a real
awesome,
fun.
man.
It's very like you don't know how long it can go. It's very improv, very just go with the flow.
Right on.
And you just get to see psycho acts.
Yeah.
Like you just get to see fucking weird shit.
What's the wildest thing you've seen at that place?
There was a guy. I mean, there was a guy who did like a VR thing. That was pretty. And I volunteered to do it, so I was doing this like VR stuff. But I'm trying to think. There was a guy who did this bit where he was you ever been to the observatory?
Mm-hmm. All the time, yeah.
You know how they do those shows where someone's introducing? He did one of those, and it was like
At the
he was,
Elysian?
and he was like the lights on, and he just starts complaining about his dad. He's like talking about space, and then he just starts complaining about his dad. This one was one of my favorites. This guy gets on stage and he's like, "Hey guys, hi." I forget his name, but he did this bit. I just want to let you know that I have a condition where if anyone laughs, I have a seizure, and when I wake up from the seizure, I don't remember where I am. So someone would laugh, and he would go, "Ah!" and then just start shaking and shaking and shaking, and then get up and go, "Where am I?" And then someone would laugh, and he goes, "Ah!" and it just every time. And then sometimes he would get up and no one would laugh. He'd be like, "Where am I? Where am I?" And he just sees a bunch of people. So he gets on stage and he thinks he's like at a funeral.
Oh no!
So he starts speaking and someone
Wow.
laughs and he goes, "Ah!" and he just starts shaking and shaking and shaking. It was he committed to it so well. The other one was, so Ron Lynch is the host. He has a co-host named Davey, and Ron Lynch goes, "All right, we have a special guest. He's from West Virginia, and he apparently revolutionized improv comedy. Please give it up for the Audience Plant."
What?
And then he's like, "The Audience Plant." And then all of a sudden, you can just hear Davey with the mic going, "Oh, where's this Audience Plant right now? I heard he done revolutionized improv comedy." And they're like, "Excuse me, sir, who are you?" "Oh, I don't know. I'm just a guy from, I'm just from West Virginia. I just hear this guy's I'm just waiting for this Audience Plant. He's already done revolutionized improv comedy." He's like, "Are you the Audience Plant?" "Nah, I'm not the Audience Plant, Ron Lynch. More like Wrong Lynch." And then at the end, he admitted he was the Audience Plant and that he did revolutionize It's like very that.
Yeah.
Like bits, like act out bits.
Act out bits. And a lot of music, a lot of comedy music. I've seen some great comedy music and some awful. Again, I saw a comedy band that I just think is might be my favorite band in general. They're just an amazing.
What are they called?
Shout out Wolves of Glendale.
Wolves of Glendale.
They are, and I mean this with my chest, they are the Beatles of comedy music.
You heard it here, folks.
No, because and I've been to plenty of their shows. They are just brilliant musicians. Like when it's over, I'll show you some of their songs.
Yeah.
They are highly if they don't become huge, it's on the world, not them. Like they open for tonight, but they're just like these three guys who are just not only the songs are hysterical, but they're just good It's just really good music,
Yeah.
and I highly recommend seeing them live. I don't think I've ever seen better chemistry on stage than those three.
I'd love to go. I'd love to go with you one day if you know, the dates.
I think unfortunately the next time it's in October.
Okay.
I saw their last show because it was so funny. Their last show, most of the people there I think are usually they expect their friends. They don't expect just people that are fans.
Yeah.
And there was this psycho guy there. He looked like Travis Barker, just head to toe tats, and he was just a psycho fan.
Wow.
He was like, "I love you guys," and he just they would be riffing, and he would just walk up to the front of them and take a selfie with them, even though they were perform. They were concerned almost. I genuinely, and this might have been the edible talking. I wouldn't have been shocked if he just got out a gun and shot them. He had very Mark David Chapman vibes, and I never saw this. They literally got off stage and. Everyone started yelling, "Encore, encore," and they go up and they go, "All right, we're gonna play a few more songs, only because you guys seem violent." And he was not.
That's awesome.
They're high, amazing, but It's really fun. Again, I haven't gone there in months. We went there a lot. But my roommate did it. It's just a really fun time.
Right on.
I think a three-piece.
The artistic freedom of it. It's just doing the weird, really weird shit.
Yeah. I don't know if I got the balls to... I don't know. My act is kind of the way you guys know that it is. And I don't know if I could do that. That's tough.
I've always thought about, like, I always think of bits where I'm like, wow, I'm the only one that finds this funny. I should do it at the Elysian. Like,
Yeah.
it's very... The more niche, the better.
Feel that.
But definitely, and that's why my roommate, he's very good at just, like, character and doing that kind of theater-y stuff. But, no, it's definitely its own art form, especially to do it good.
Mm-hmm.
But also doing it bad is its own funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Watching someone terrible is an art of its own. But it's tough because you'll be laughing so hard, but then they'll think it's because you actually think they're funny.
You ever go to the guy with the acoustic guitar open mic?
Yes.
It's not like one specifically. It's just like every once in a blue moon, you'll go to an open mic and someone goes up with an acoustic guitar, and you're
Yeah,
like,
I
no.
You're like, this isn't that kind of place.
No, it's not that kind of
no.
place. I mean, unless it's... I mean, you know, there's people that do comedy with a guitar that are very... Was it Nick Thune?
I don't know who that
He's
is.
he's a pretty big comic. I've just seen him perform at Bourbon Room and Supernova, and
Right
he plays with a guitar. Like, he'll do
dang.
jokes with
Yeah,
the
those
guitar.
are big spaces.
Yeah, so he's a big... I see he's been in, like, movies and stuff. He's definitely very successful. But that's the only... There's one guy who's performed at Bourbon Room who is this French guy. He does comedy with a violin. Like, he'll play the violin and do jokes, and it's different, you know. Or you just have Craig Robinson, who just does covers, and he just does covers, and it's
I
awesome.
see pictures of him. I've never seen him live, but I see he's always at the Improv at the piano doing something.
Yeah, it's fun. I got what was it? One of the people that worked at Bourbon Room, she did like she ran like a Christmas show at a farmer's market. It was a Christmas, and she asked me to be on it, and also Craig Robinson was the closer. And she goes on stage, and she asked everyone who performed to come on stage and sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." So I got to sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" with Greg Robinson in a bank parking lot that was for a farmer's market. And I went to one guy after. I was like, "Wow, this is one of the craziest moments."
Yeah, that's one of
It was
the ones.
odd.
When you started stand-up, you didn't picture yourself in a parking lot.
It was just really weird, but it was a great time. It was just very funny.
You're at the Bourbon Room a lot.
Yeah, well, I help usher. I mean, I was helping there with when it was Supernova, which is coming back. Tomorrow, I think, is...
I thought they were only doing that during the pandemic on that like parking lot off Whitley or something.
Yeah, they're bringing it back. They're doing it again.
By the Motel 6?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing it. They're bringing it back, I guess, for the summer, but I don't know if they'll still keep doing it. I don't know.
Right on.
It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow, or at least, the first show's tomorrow. It's going to be fun, but... They definitely started it from the pandemic.
I was going to ask, how did that whole thing come about? Because I'd never heard of that before. Was it a product of the pandemic? Or
I think it was. So I first started going there just as an audience member. Like I just saw that there was a show, and I just started going, and there were a lot of comics. Anthony Jeselnik's my favorite comic. And
I saw Bill Burr did one of those shows there.
Yeah. Oh, I saw. This was before I started working there. I saw my roommate and I went to see Bill Burr. And we saw him destroy a heckler, and it was like art. It was true. We get there, and we're sitting, and to the table, not next to us, but like one row above, to like right next to us, there is this old guy who is just clearly hammered. Old guy, white hair. He looks like Michael McDonald. He is like asleep, really drunk, and he's barely paying attention to Bill Burr, but he's just going, "That's sexist. That's sexist." And he is not. Bill Burr can't hear him because he's not yelling. He's just saying that.
That's probably the best thing you can hear out of a drunk old man's mouth is like, "That's progressive views." Yeah. Usually it's the other way.
But so only me and my friend can hear him.
Yeah.
So we're just focusing on him as much as we are on Bill Burr. Like, is he going to ever notice?
Yeah.
And then once Bill Burr finally noticed, he just started eviscerating him. He was like, "Okay, look, now, see, everyone can see you can't handle your liquor." And, like, he's just shitting on him. And because my friend and I saw him, knew what was happening, knew before, we just started dying.
That's awesome.
And then, do you know Nate Welch?
No.
kind of
Heir to the Welch fortune?
No. He's a guy with a Louisiana accent, bald, kind of talks like this.
No.
Because he was like the security or like one of the people, the bouncers at Supernova and Bourbon Room, and I just remember him coming to like take him, telling him to leave.
Oh my God.
And it's just funny looking back because now he's one of my closest friends in comedy. So it was just fun, and I would always see it. So it was just the how
Saw
that
him
shit.
before you knew him, kind of thing.
Yeah, saw him before I knew him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was very fun. But I think it just started through the pandemic.
And now they're bringing it back in full force.
Yeah, in full force. I mean, it was a great show. It was a lot of fun.
You get to go. I've seen pictures of you up on stage at the Bourbon Room a lot.
Yeah.
So you work there and you get to do sets as well.
Yeah, there's a few people that work there that like just help out, and while also getting paid. Like you can get to open the show like every few shows.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a rotation.
How many people fit in that room? I never been in there.
Definitely over. I am so bad with that kind of guessing.
I feel that.
So I don't know if I say 200, that's like I'm so off. But over 100, I mean, it can definitely fit a lot of people.
I've never been in. I drive past it all the time.
Yeah.
I've been to the bar once because I was walking back from some store and they were just open. So I just went up there and just like looked around, but I never saw like the stage.
Stage is really cool. They don't really do much comedy there. It's mostly music. They were doing a unauthorized musical about Obama.
What does unauthorized mean?
It was called It was called like 44, the unauthorized musical about him, told through the hazy mind of Joe Biden or something. It was a lot of, and no disrespect, but it was a lot of like really cringe like jokes.
Yeah.
That sounds
a lot
about
of
right.
a lot of clapping lines.
I feel
Like there'd
that.
be a scene with Obama where he's with Mitch McConnell and they're like, "You only care about the money the NRA gives you," and just everyone in the room clapping.
Yeah.
And then he has a seizure on stage, and
Yeah, it's
everyone
just
goes,
like
yes.
yeah, and then he would sing these songs. But there is some like incredible moments, and there were some phenomenal moments.
Right on.
It was also funny because the comedy show would be after it, and it always ran late, so the shows would start so much later than they would.
I'm sure most of the opening jokes were about that. Or is it a different audience?
Different audience,
Oh, okay,
different
right on.
audience. Different audiences. But it was. But they do a lot of fun stuff there. It's a fun venue, and I'm happy to do Supernova again. That's
on.
yeah.
Right on. Well, I noticed you posted this picture of some artist that I'd never heard of, but the tag or the caption was like, "I can't believe this photo exists." Who was that guy?
With me at the Bourbon Room.
Yeah,
Oh, that was T.I.
that was who that was.
Oh, you got a picture with T.I.?
He came to Bourbon Room to do
Oh, my
stand up,
God.
and
He's doing stand-up now?
have you not heard about that? He's been
No,
doing
no,
stand-up.
First I've
not
heard
at
about
all.
this.
He's been doing stand up. I think he famously like went like was a disaster at the Comedy Store and like went over a bunch and then like there was he talked about on stage this like I guess big moment in New York where he went up and he got booed and
Oh no.
but I was expecting the worst, but then he wasn't bad. I mean, he was really nice. It was very funny. So I was running the light for that
Yeah.
show and doing time. So and then all of a sudden I get a text last second going, "Okay, closing T.I." And I'm like,
Jesus.
"Okay." And then he gets there and I go up to him and it's really weird because I'm asking T.I., how much time do you want to do? And he's
That's
like,
gotta be so strange.
And
Hey,
he's like-
Mr. I, how?
Yeah.
how
yeah,
long you doing?
Mr. Tip, I would like to know. And he was like, "How much time do you want me to do?" And I kind of froze because I'm like, I don't know what's the appropriate, because I don't want to say like 7 and he
Yeah.
gets pissed, but I don't want to say like 20.
And he's like, I can't do 20.
I think we lasered in on like 12.
Right on.
And it's so funny because he was like asking me like, it's like, "So I'll give you the light at like 10. He's like, "So the light means, my time's about to be up?" And I was like, yes, it does. But he was really nice. and
Explaining the light to T.I. That's
Listen,
hilarious.
Mr. T.
It was really funny. But I mean, he was really nice. And again, like I laughed definitely. I mean, the thing is, he is naturally very good at certain things that will take comics, years to get good at because
Yeah.
he just naturally is present.
He has a
stage-
performance background.
He has a
can be on
performance.
stage.
I mean, he's charismatic professionally. He's a professionally charismatic man. So he just naturally just knows how to control a stage. And there isn't. I realized also it's different, but there is a joke writing kind of style to rapping. Like there's a lot of setup punchline in a lot of rap. It's
Yeah.
just if you just really think of, there's a lot of rappers that are funny and say
Yeah.
funny lines and, wordplay and all that stuff. So there isn't I don't think if you're, especially if you really work hard at it, I think there could be, maybe I'm just trying to defend T.I., but I also understand if someone's like, oh, fuck this. But I mean, there's definitely, I feel like,
I get it. I mean, it's not that crazy of a jump.
it's not too crazy. I mean, I think probably why a lot of comics also would be upset is, there's that thing people say how stand-up's easy. Like,
Yeah.
there's simultaneously a lot of people that think stand-up's super easy, and there's simultaneously a lot of people that think stand-up's the hardest thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why people would probably be upset. But I mean, I was laughing.
I got
that photo with them, and I'm like, that'll be a photo I'll save for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's a great photo.
Yeah, Nate's the other guy. Nate's that other guy.
Oh,
with me
okay,
in the
right
photo.
on.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Los Angeles 98. So LOSTANGELES 98.
Hell yeah, dude.
Used to be Stanley Praise 98, but then I changed it because I don't know why. It just felt like a change.
Switch it up.
Well, Stanley Praise is my middle name, so I always just use like Stanley Praise.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Word.
Well, yeah, dude, it is a great photo.
Yeah,
I just didn't know who that dude was.
Yeah, that was T.I. It was really, really fun. It's just a really funny moment.
Yeah, that's not as big as a jump when you think about it, going from like something like rap to stand up.
Yeah.
Because like they'll have like rap battles the same way people have roast battles, and it's
Yeah.
like you have to figure out a creative way to explain to someone how you fucked their mother.
Yeah.
And so like to turn that from a rap thing into a joke, it's not that big of a
And
jump.
a lot of rappers are just very comedic. I mean, Eminem. I mean, he's
Hilarious.
Very fun. I mean, those videos. I'm a huge Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott fan, and they're very goofy. Those are my favorite kind of rappers because they're like very goofy and fun, but you
Yeah.
also know they could eviscerate you
Yeah.
if they wanted to.
I like Kevin Gates. I always like Kevin Gates. And I don't listen to that much rap, but I just like Kevin Gates as a human.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, you showed me Kevin Gates.
Yeah.
I have
You're
no idea.
You're
who
like
that
he's
is.
awesome. He's got both hands tattooed to be revolvers.
Yeah, that's pretty hard. And he's just hilarious. He's just a good man,
Yeah. I mean, Tyler the Creator, very fun. There's
Yeah.
a lot of. I mean, there's also. A lot of rappers become like act, and they can be very good actors. I mean,
Tyler
Ice
the
Cube.
Creator's
Ice Cube.
hilarious.
Man. I mean, all those guys. They can be very. T.I.'s acted. I mean, T.I. He had a acting career. He hasn't acted in a minute, but he was in the Ant-Man movies and.
I go back and forth. You mentioned if stand-up's the easiest thing or the hardest thing. I go back and forth because I don't know. I don't know where I land on that.
I think it's definitely hard.
I think it's for sure difficult, but I've seen some people get up on stage and pretty easily get a laugh. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's hard to to make a room laugh. But it is fucking also hard at the exact same time. I'm saying nothing, kind of.
It depends on what I'm walking off the stage with. If I like walk off the stage and kill, I'm like, this is the fucking easiest shit.
Yeah.
But if I bomb, I'm like, this is the hardest art. This is the art. It's my
is
story. I'm putting my heart on stage. Like, all
Yeah,
that.
I mean the amount of times we probably all have where we're like going through our jokes before we go on, like, oh, this is gonna kill. I'm on my way. And all of a sudden you do, and you're like,
Dude, the amount of times I've been sitting in the back, flipping through the notepad, going like, no, this is shit. This is shit. Can't do that. That's shit, you know?
yeah. I mean, also, I think for the people where it says like it's easy, maybe that's also just people that are naturally just charismatic and just kind of have a natural, there's that, you guys watch the Comedy Store doc, the Jeff Altman.
Yeah.
He it becomes a regular after his first performance.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
There was something like that. I'm just mean he had bits was thought of, but I think there's just people that are just at least at first naturally.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's just like getting up there. People, maybe it looks harder or it seems harder than people think it is.
I think
But
it's
to me getting up on the stage. I don't know. Like I like getting up there.
Yeah.
But I know people who are like, I would never fucking walk up on a stage.
Yeah, anytime that's one of the first responses I get. Anytime, like if I'm like at work, and I'll tell somebody like, "Yeah, I do stand up." They're like, "Wow, you're awful brave." It's like it's not.
Now I think I'm just up my own ass.
Yeah, I think I just like myself too much.
Yeah.
I get a lot of bravery.
But
Yeah, I definitely get that. I had a funny moment in my program. I was in my, not the OA, but just like the other place I've been going to. We were literally doing like collaging or some shit like that, and one guy was just talking about how he thought he was funny, like in a very adorable way. He's like, I just think I'm silly. I like being silly, and everyone goes, I like being funny. I like to be, I like to be silly too. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and someone was saying, I think I'm funny, and I'm just being silent, and we're gonna collage, and the person in charge of the group, one of the like therapists / coaches, just looks at me and goes, I think Stanley is pretty funny. Because they all know I do stand-up, and no one said a thing. And I was just like, I want to die.
You were just like,
how dare you?
Like,
I didn't ask for this. I was silent for a reason. I didn't want to say.
Why have you done this to me?
How dare you?
How dare you?
My parents
do me dirty like that.
My parents have sent what was it? I have like a care coordinator, like the guy who's like, hey, you're gonna do this week. And he meets with my parents weekly, like just to see how I'm doing, to tell them how I'm doing. And they go, yeah, your parents sent me your stand-up. And I was like,
how did your parents get your stand-up?
I have video. I mean, they always want to know what I'm doing. I mean, they're not against it. I mean, they're both artists, so they are, they're somewhat not against it, but they're like, oh, we have a comedian as a son, but even though they're both artistic, but I have videos, and they sent it to him, and I was just, all I thought was, God, I hope he thinks I'm funny. I hope he thinks I'm funny. And he thought
it was a kill set.
He thought I was funny, and they've sent him other things, and I'm like, please stop. They sent him the short film I made to get into college, and thank God he enjoyed it. But I still just like, am very like, don't send. I'm like, what am I supposed to say?
Yeah, no, it's weird when someone. I have this issue with coworkers, where I like to keep my work and private life separate.
Yeah.
And it's weird for me. I feel weird when someone's like, hey, I saw your video that you made. And I'm like, but I'm at work and I'm in work mode. I'm work Ryan.
Yeah.
And they're talking about outside of work Ryan. And I'm like, that's, I don't know. That's not me, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking, I don't want to do this right now. or like a coworker being like, let me come to a show. And I'm like, I don't want you to come to a show. I'm sorry.
Next time I come to where you work, I'm going to just start yelling, this guy is so fucking funny.
I'd quit on the spot.
Give me an iced latte, and I just want to say, can that guy serve it to me? Because I want to know what he's going to say to me when he serves it. He's so fucking funny.
It's just you and Nick Titoni in the same booth, just going, hey, it was this famous Ryan guy.
I mean, that was really funny when I saw you.
I cannot get Nick out of my fucking diner. He's there every day, man, and he's there 5 times a week, and I'm trying to work.
Yeah.
And he's giving me tags. He's like, Ryan, you think this is funny? And I'm like, dude, I'm busy, man. And this is what he does. Nick writes. Nick comes to the bar, and he's writing, and he's on his little Nook. It's like not a book. It's not an iPhone. It's like a fucking Nook, you know, or a Kindle. And he's like reading and then writing jokes. And he's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, dude, don't fucking test tags out on me.
Listen.
He doesn't test tags on him.
That's really funny, man. When you happen to work in one of the best diners in the city of Los Angeles, you're gonna get your.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a great little restaurant. It really is.
Well, I go to I won't say the name, but I go to the other one a lot because it's just closer to me. Which is a very tinier version, but it's a fine establishment.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there was this one hilarious time where Nick was there, testing tags out on me like he does every time he comes in, and typical Nick. I mean, you know Nick, and then so I'm talking, and then you just walked like from the side, and we were like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I was like, damn it, I gotta introduce my mom to Nick Titoni. Fuck. I don't want him knowing anyone in my family.
I know. And then Nick started telling your mom tags, and she was like,
hitting
on
her.
Well, then, worse. Yeah. I think the next time I saw you guys at Badger, I went up and I was like, I saw you guys, and I was so happy to see Ryan. I love Ryan.
I remember.
It's like, no, and also my mom, and they met my mom, and I was so happy for my mom to meet Ryan again. I love Ryan.
That was a good one.
Like, I'm just Ken. Come on.
Yeah, that was a very. He is just Nick. He really is just Nick.
He's just Nick, man.
We love you, Nick Titoni.
Yes, we do. He's on his yearly bender right now, so we won't hear from him.
Yeah, he'll be radio blackout for about 4 weeks, and then he'll come back on the scene.
I don't know if you know this, but he every year his buddies come into town,
And they do the.
and they go to the body shop a lot, and he's very open about this, so I'm comfortable with saying this.
Oh, he'll tell you. He'll tell you.
He's very open about it. He basically turns his phone off for like a week and a half and goes to the body shop a lot and does other things I won't say on camera.
That's great. Well, Nick, I know if you ever watch this, I want to say, hope you're enjoying it, and I cannot wait for your mid jokes about it.
yeah.
When you get back at Badger and Jam and you try to like do your bits and like
And
we're laughing at you and not with you. But we do love you, but we're laughing at no.
We love you very much, Nick.
We love you very much. We love you very much.
But complete a joke, start to finish, Nick, please. Nick.
You were talking about like you don't like coworkers coming to your shows.
Yeah.
I had my boss come to one of my shows one time.
You did.
The lady that I worked for at the liquor store over in West Hollywood, and she showed up with her daughter because she knows that I do stand up, and she thought it's just gonna be like a fun like little night, and thankfully I killed. Like thankfully I crushed.
You had a good set that night.
Yeah, I had a real good set that night, but it was weird because like two of my jokes were about work.
Yeah.
And like I had to do those like in front of her. It was just this whole like.
Could you imagine? You're like, don't you hate your fucking boss?
Yeah, it was like kind of that vibe. And then like I got stage, I was like, haha, it's an old joking,
Well, yeah, I've done the joke. Have you guys heard my joke where I talk about how I want someone to fuck my mom?
I don't think I've heard that one.
Because I have this whole joke. I had this whole joke where I was like, I need someone to fuck. Like, my mom hasn't been with anyone since she divorced my dad.
Yeah.
And I love my mom, so I want to be a good son. So I just want to take this time. If someone could please fuck my mom.
That's a good bit. That's a good premise.
It's like, and then I do all these other jokes about it. But I've done that with her in the audience.
How does she feel about that?
She's fine with it. I mean, I asked her if I could do it, and she's fine with it. But I've done it a few times.
I bet she agrees.
Yeah, definitely. I think I ended every time going, all right, I'm Stanley Swerdlow. I just want to thank my mom for being in the audience. And then I get off. And first time I ever did it on stage, she was there in the audience.
Wow.
It's done well. I haven't done it in a minute, but I definitely enjoy doing that bit.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that's got to be weird. I don't know. I feel weird having people at my shows. I don't know. I just had a show last night.
Yeah.
And it went.
Oh, how was that?
It went really good. I did pretty good. I'd give it a B plus.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'd say a B plus. I hit all the marks. I could have used some energy. There wasn't a lot of people there, but it was a great show. Everyone did great, and Hayden came and Elise came, and I'm cool with that because you guys see all my sets.
I'd seen the whole show before. I was just kind of sitting there.
You and Elise,
but you
there.
performed it perfectly.
Thank you, and I did really good. But like if a coworker was there, I would just feel weird, and I think it would throw me off. Actually,
yeah, that's fair. It's interesting, seeing the guy, just seeing everyone we see at open mics in like, I'll put in, real shows.
Yeah.
Like I remember, because you see Brett Dodenhoff. Like I've seen him in mics, and he did. My friend Ben, he did Ben's show, and it was so fascinating to just watch him do
the completed material.
Just seeing when you see everyone go 100%.
Yeah.
On stage,
and you were like, oh, I remember like 6 months ago that was like a 2-sentence like nugget of something.
So that's always interesting. I understand it can be hard when people or I remember I did they ever done shows at the Hotel Cafe.
No.
I did one there, and it was like a bringer show. Like bring at least like 5 people.
Yeah.
And like
bringer shows are tough.
Half the people there were my friends.
Oh, nice.
Like half the people there were for me. Like,
hell yeah.
It was really cool. And then I remember I'm saying, all right, a lot of my friends are here, so this section here are the only people I care about for your laughs. Your laughs are the only ones that mean anything to me. Yeah. These others, do not. I don't care what any of them laugh. Your laughs matter. But it definitely could be, like when my parents come, definitely.
Yeah.
They came to a Supernova show that I was opening, and it was really funny. They left right when I was done.
Oh yeah. I feel that.
They did.
They're just there to see you and support.
They're not really big stand-up watchers, so they were like, all right, we're seeing you. We're getting the fuck out.
I feel that.
That's fair for
it's the
parents.
thought, yeah,
that's good.
You know, it is weird. It can be weird, or no, it's cool though to see because at open mics it's just like little snippets of jokes. Like you see, we're working shit out, you know, and then then you go to a show and it's like this very smooth, laid out like a new sidewalk, fucking smooth. It's like all put together, and it is nice. Like last night, I hit every beat that I knew that was in the jokes. I hit every beat perfectly, and that felt great. I did 8 minutes, and it was just 8 minutes of fucking nonstop going, and that was a lot of fun.
No, those can be. It's definitely totally different than doing the Badger. It's just really fun watching your friends like care.
Yeah,
when they're
like give a shit.
Yeah.
Like when they're performing and they actually care, and you really know what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know what though? I was telling this to Hayden last night. I could have done with a little more energy up there, you know. And I said I was like I wish I had that like Badger energy, but you can't get that Badger energy unless I'm at Badger. I don't know, but that room just fucking.
There's something special about that room. I think it's because like we're all. It's just like a hangout. Like everyone there is friends, especially the late night Tom Kelly 9 to 10.
The Wednesday night, man.
The Wednesday night
the 9 to 10 specifically.
That specific
Those are
hour
fun.
slot, like that's when you can get away with like just wild. You can like swing for the fences with like a wild idea, and like it's very just open. Everyone's there to have a good time. Everyone
I feel
knows
so
that they're
loose those nights.
Exactly. I'm the most loose between 9 to 10 on any given Wednesday when Tom Kelly's hosting the Badger.
That's definitely. I feel that.
I look forward to that mic more than anyone.
Yeah.
I always call it a home game. It's like a home game.
It is a home game because we'll bomb all around the city.
Yeah, or at Badger, or we'll bomb there.
Yeah.
But at least there, it's comfortable.
I'm looking forward to that Wednesday night, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny at the show last night. Like I did the jokes better than I've ever done them, but that energy wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like where I could fuck around at Badger with a new idea, and it maybe be funnier because I'm so loose and like I don't even know where this is going, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
there's something about that place.
Yeah, no, that place has just good vibes.
Yeah.
And I think most of us there are all friends.
Yeah.
So it's just a very, everyone understands what we're all going through and trying to do this and be just very there for each other. And that is a hard thing to bring, especially to a crowd that just doesn't know you. Mm-hmm. And you have to like kind of figure out a way to like make them know you.
Yeah.
But
Sell yourself to strangers.
Every single person in the audience at a late night Wednesday Badger and Jam, they each bring a piece of like what the vibe of the audience is.
Uh-huh.
And if you're just doing that to like a crowd of strangers, you're not going to have that kind of energy.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky a lot of times when I open for Bourbon Room or Supernova because I bring people to their seats. So they kind of know me.
Yeah,
they
you get a
know
little
me.
pre-interaction.
First thing I always say is like, hey, I don't know if you know me. I took you to your seats.
Nice.
I always say that.
You get
or
that
like,
instant connection.
Or if the guy who like runs the place, sometimes he'll like introduce. And every time he does that, I took you to your seats. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Fuck.
Don't take my. Come on, man.
That's good though, because you can plant little seeds like ahead of time. Like you can plant little seeds that you already know you're gonna do a joke about on stage or something.
Yeah.
Like you seat someone and then you make a fucking joke about the table. This table's weird, and then you go up on stage and you're like, aren't the tables weird? And then they're like, you said that to me. You can plant like little on purpose seeds.
I'm definitely lucky, at least with that, if I ever perform there, because the audience knows me just a little.
That's important.
Yeah, I feel you on the energy thing, because definitely I think I at least try to do like bits that just get me energized.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think I now always want to start with the JFK bit because it gets me so energized. It gets me so happy that I then am like excited for the rest of the set because I don't have to build up to it. I'm already at the peak of my energy, so I'm ready to just ride that on.
I have a couple bits like that as well. Like I have this bit about dollies that and it's two jokes smashed into one, but anytime I get to the dollies joke and I bring up, I go, I've been helping a buddy move, and we were using dollies. There's always this pause when I say dollies, and it makes me laugh, always. I don't know why, just because I recognize, like, absurd this thing I'm about to say is. So that makes me laugh, and then I'm in a great mood, and then I do the bit with this fucking, how dumb is this energy? And
you need a good dumb opening joke.
Yeah. It can just make it. It can make the whole set.
That's my thing with like Yamaha. I've had that joke for like a year now, and I love like just squeezing that in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it puts me in a good mood.
Yeah.
Even if it's like in the middle of a set, I do that. I'm like, all right, I'm back, baby. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I think what just makes me energized when I do the JFK bit, whether no one laughs, whether people laugh, at least they know this movie exists.
I know.
Last time I did it like in front of a regular audience, I got like 3 whats, and it was like, what? And I was like, I got like, so I would say a line, and they would go, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's all I need. I don't even care if anyone
Hey,
laughs.
at least you learned.
It's really a learning experience for that. That's what, yeah.
You know, one person went home every night after you do that joke and Googled the movie.
I got, when I did Potluck, because you only got like 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. I just did the JFK bit. And there was
the whole thing.
Whole thing. Did it, just the
How'd
whole,
it go?
So there was one guy, this old guy, who said, yeah, like, has anyone seen that movie? So he was in the whole time. So when I did the final punchline of it, he was dying.
Nice.
And I was like, that's all I need. No one else was really laughing.
Yeah.
There was a great moment when I did it, because a lot of times at Bourbon Room, Doug Benson goes like second, and he's like doing his jokes. And maybe some people didn't laugh at one. He's like, all right, should we bring out Stanley back again? More JFK jokes. More JFK jokes.
That's great.
And I was like, I've made this is one.
You made it. Don't you feel a bit of pride with that?
I feel a lot of pride with that one. That was if the guy whose whole podcast is about loving movies is going more JFK.
Yeah. How many times have you done Potluck?
It was once. It was that one time.
I've only done it twice.
Yeah.
I've only done it twice as well.
I lived here 3 years, only done it 2 times.
You had 2 good sets.
Yeah. Well, the last host didn't seem to think so, but
the host, that
guy
bad
was
host.
a jackass and is dead to me, so who cares?
Yeah, that was a bad host.
Fair.
We're not gonna get into that. First guy rocked.
The first guy rocked. Yeah, that second host he was a shit host.
I enjoyed my host. It was definitely fun. I mean, I was pretty early in the, but it was just fun to do. I hadn't done doing the OR.
Were you nervous walking up the stairs to the OR?
I was more I was more nervous about doing. Okay, I'm gonna do the JFK bit for this whole.
Yeah. That's a long ride.
That was maybe that because I was like, should I do that? And I was like, oh, I'll do it because it's just funny for me to do. Mm-hmm. It was definitely. I was definitely nervous. I was more. I had that really incredible opportunity to do the main room.
Yeah.
So walking onto that was more.
Did you do that before or after?
Before.
Oh, so you already had it down.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was before.
That was before. Yeah. The Potluck was maybe like a month ago, maybe a little more than a month ago. But the main room one, I had done that before. That was just
How'd you get that gig?
So my boss, who does the Supernova in the Bourbon Room, they had a show that they were doing at the main room,
That's
and my
awesome.
boss couldn't. Like he usually would do 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would do his set.
Yeah.
And he couldn't, and so people asked if anyone could help out, and I said I could, and then I got his spot.
That's awesome.
So
Man,
I got
so
to do,
cool.
and it was one of the, and I was crazy because I guess the first 2 were like the kind of up and coming 6-minute spots.
Yeah.
And then I did the 8. I did one of the main kind of the bigger ones, and I was like, wow, these people have probably done stand up way more than I did. So I'm just gonna act like I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, just act like you know what you're doing.
But and then I did that, and it was. And I think that was I think also, this is crazy, the first time I ever opened with the JFK bit was at the main.
Wow.
Because I remember thinking, oh, I'm open. I was like, because it was very last second I knew I was doing it. It was like maybe 2 hours before I did it.
I think that would be better than knowing, hey, next week you got the thing.
Like 2 hours before,
Yeah.
I think I knew I was doing it. So I was like, what am I doing? And then once I realized I'll open with the JFK, but I felt fine. I was
Good,
like,
yeah.
I felt good. And then
You got a guaranteed right out of the
I was
jump.
like, and it went well. I definitely got It was I think I did pretty well. And when I got off, I thought I was gonna throw up. I was like,
Really?
I was just sitting on the couch, head down after just like playing with my fidget spinner.
Uh-huh.
while like all these huge comics are just around each other talking. And
Who was back there? If you feel like saying.
Well, no, Nikki Glazer was back there,
Wow.
and I brought up Brett Goldstein.
Wow.
And
Really?
you know, I walk up, I bring him up, and he said, "Good job." And I was like, "God, I hope you genuinely listen to any."
Yeah. Not just like a passing, hey, nice.
I mean, one time at Bourbon Room, he said he really liked one of my jokes. I was like, wow. And then I thought, man, I need to watch Ted Lasso. I feel.
Dude, I just found out that guy was a comic like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
after finishing Ted Lasso, like
I think
3 years too late.
I think a lot of people are realizing, because, you know, he's a British comic. I know he was on like one of Ricky Gervais's shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had no idea until we saw a picture of him at the Improv, and we were like, "What?"
That's
crazy.
the soccer guy, the football
Yeah,
guy,
because
right?
we just watched Ted Lasso like way late, I think. I don't know when it came out,
Yeah,
but a great show, and yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's a very, very fun, very British, very fun. I mean, very British comic. But
I saw that video on your Instagram of you walking out on that man room, and I was like so happy for you. I was like, that is fucking awesome, dude.
That's the dream, baby.
it wasn't, you know, it was. I still can't believe it.
Dude, I mean, that's it. That's the stage. That's what we moved out here for. It's for the Comedy Store.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the big. I mean, it was really amazing. You know, I felt, and the person that runs it, Sydney, you know, she was saying like she was very proud and said I did really well, and I was
That's
like, this
fucking
is
awesome.
It was, yeah. One guy came up to me. I had met him. Guy came up to me, and I guess he was a comic. He does at least I told him about Badger and Jam.
Okay.
So you're welcome, Badger and Jam. A customer.
You're welcome.
But and you know, he told me that he thought I was one of the best of the night, and I was like,
Did you record the whole set, or it was just the walk up?
I asked someone to film the walk. I recorded it audio. I have the audio of it.
That's good.
I have the audio of it. I don't have the whole filmed of it.
That's all right.
But
they barely let you
awesome.
film anything.
I didn't film it.
So.
I just wanted. I recorded it. I felt.
Yeah.
But I asked if she could film me walking up because I was like, I need that.
Yeah, you know, and so smart. You need the walk up. That's the coolest fucking part.
I need my
the
name
just
being
for
said,
you.
and you know, it was it was an amazing moment.
Oh man,
That's awesome, dude.
I can't wait for the day I'm standing behind those curtains.
Yeah.
Back in that room. What was that room like?
I mean, it was definitely interesting because just seeing the, like, you know, you see people post photos behind there, and
it's like a little club that you can't get to, you know.
Yeah, it was you know, it was cool. It was, again, just, you know, it was also funny because some of those comics I like have seen, like I've sort of talked to because they've come to Bourbon Room or Supernova. He's like, I remember I went to English. I don't know if you remember me, but, you know, I've definitely walked you to the door several times. And she was like, oh, yeah. But it was, you know, it was, I really thought when I walked off I was going to throw up. I was like, I just thought like, wow, this was.
Just out of like, I can't like.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was also, again, I knew I was doing it like 2 hours before. So I was all just surreal. And it was just, you know.
I stand by, I think that helps.
Yeah.
Because
I can agree.
Like, it's like with the potluck.
Yeah.
Like when I first got my potluck email back, you know, you find out 4 hours ahead of time, 3 hours or something like that.
Well, yeah, it's the day of. They tell you at like 1 p.m. They're like, you're going up in the OR tonight. And it's never on a day when you want to go up. You're always like in a bad mood or had a bad day at work or something. It's always some shit, and you see the email, you go, it's a thing you wanted, and you're like, fuck!
Yeah.
Why today?
Yeah, it's always the day
so
when
true.
you have a headache and you fucking stub your
or
toe.
you're too hungover for some reason.
That definitely was what happened when I found out.
Yeah?
That definitely was like not having a good day.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, though, because it didn't give me enough time to black hole panic my fucking self to death like I fucking like to do for some reason. I like to go, like with the show, anytime I get a show, you know, it's like, hey, you got a show next month. I'm chilling the whole month until like the day of, and I'm like, I'm gonna bomb. I just want, like, it's like a fucking some mind trick I do to myself.
Yeah, I felt that way with Roast Battle.
Yeah.
Each Roast Battle, like the few days before, I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
Uh-huh.
I am fucked.
The closer it gets, my mind fucking tells me you're gonna suck.
Yeah, I thought.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
So I like the last minute, like you don't have time to panic. Like you have just enough time to get your shit together and go.
See, I don't know. I'm the complete opposite. I like replace. I put it out of like mind, and I shove it all into the 2 seconds when I walk up on stage, and I go like, all right, everybody.
You fucking hold out.
I hold out until like I'm like same thing with potluck until I'm walking up onto the OR and then I go, all right, everybody, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
I shove like 2 months worth of panicking into like 6 seconds and then just like blow past it.
I definitely I kind of on both sides. Definitely, maybe I lean a little more towards you because I've had moments like at Bird Moose Supernova where I had to like either bring up or follow a big comic.
Yeah.
And it's like I remember last second, Jeff Ross was gonna bring me up to
Wow.
close. This was like almost.
Wow,
This was almost a year ago at Supernova. Like he was second to last, and I was just closing, so like people could write their checks.
Yeah.
And I think Sarah Silverman was before him, so it was Sarah Silverman, Jeff Ross,
Wow.
me.
Stanley.
So three classic Jews in a row. But I remember I have that. I think I have that film of him bringing me up because I was
right
like
on.
this was because I was like wow I'm getting brought. This was like that was one of the first like
You gotta show
this
me
is
that after.
It was one of the first this is one of the first like big moments like it's last second.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
Right on. My first potluck, it was so, I don't know, like kind of last minute. Day of is last minute, I think, and it was one of those. Yeah, I didn't let myself fucking psych myself out. I had just enough time to get home from work and fucking shower and get dressed, kind of just relax, and that was one of those times where it was like, I've been waiting for it for so long that I was so weirdly not nervous that like my body just took over and I was just like I've got this sort of thing. And my first time I fucking crushed, and then the second time I kind of bombed pretty hard.
Yeah, definitely. I remember, I think before I went up when Jeff Ross brought me up, someone like goes to me and they're like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "I have to be."
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
it's just
What are you
like,
gonna go? No, I'm not.
And I was like, I have to. You sometimes with those moments, you just kind of have to be. And also, I think you have to. It's so hard to remember, but also in short term, like people, unless you like historically bomb,
Yeah.
people forget that real easy.
Yeah, no, people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are.
Yeah.
And I'm so far up my own ass. Like people aren't thinking about me the way I think they are. You know what I mean? And also, it shows something if you can pull off some last minute shit. Like just last night, I was supposed to go second, I think, on the lineup.
And they moved you second to last.
Yeah, and then they moved me second to last minute. And the host came up to me, and she was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Like, I know this is last minute, but like I gotta move you. There's a schedule change." And I was just like, "Yeah, it's fine. Whatever." I was just like, "Whatever you need. It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And then that made her feel so comfortable that I was so chill, and I was just like, "Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need, I'll just do."
Yeah,
and
that's
it just made
definitely-
her life easier, and I think that's something that maybe they'll keep in mind. Like, oh, you know who's always reliable? Fucking this guy.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
She's used to telling people that and them going, "What?"
Yeah, but I was supposed.
But
to be
I was
second.
supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's definitely important to not be a dick, especially like
Shocking revelation.
Don't be a dick,
Don't
guys.
be a dick.
Don't be a
guys.
dick. Well, also, especially like if, when you have no position to be
Yeah,
a dick.
yeah, me,
There's
I'm
people,
fucking over
there's
it.
people that are dicks that like have no reason to
Yeah.
be dicks.
Yeah.
It's like there's just no.
Could you imagine? I go, I'm not standing for this. Who are you? Fucking me, dude.
Yeah,
This was not in my writer. It's
Yeah.
like you do open mics.
I didn't sign up for this.
yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, also not even just don't be a dick. It's just good to be like reliable. Like like. And like I'm just thinking like with acting, it's good to be like directable, like be able to take direction and
Yeah.
just go with the flow.
Yeah, the best thing you can be is useful.
Yeah.
I think so. That goes miles.
Yeah.
Even better than your set maybe goes that night. But if you're fucking reliable, on time, reliable, fucking in a good mood, I think that's like half the battle, I think.
Oh, 100%.
With like, maybe Springer shows or something. We were just talking about, on the break, the club mics, like the difference between like open mics and like mics that matter,
Yeah.
like the Improv and the Laugh Factory and, obviously the Comedy Store. You were actually witness to a very big bomb of mine at the Improv. You and Luke Walls.
I think me and Luke Walls and I were a key part of it.
You very
to some
big,
extent.
Very big part.
I mean, I think we stopped you from quitting comedy.
You did.
I think we legitimately stopped you from. I mean, well, you can tell that story, but I
Sure.
want to maybe give the context. The reason why we're saying the difference is the difference. Well, specifically, a lot of an open mic that's very popular here is the open mic at the Improv.
Yeah.
Except it's called an open mic, but you have to. You soon realize that it really isn't.
Yeah.
It's a kind of an audition because they pick. You get 3 minutes, and then the booker or one of the people there will pick like, ooh, they thought the 3 best they thought, and then you get to perform the next night.
The bookers are watching you, and it's cool because it packs out. It really fills up.
Yeah,
it's
it fills
the
up
whole
quick.
main room of the Improv, and it's all comics from around town.
Yeah.
So it's like the fucking hardest crowd you can imagine.
Yeah, you really got to bring your A game there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think and it's really an audition more than an open mic.
Uh-huh.
Even though I would say the Comedy Store open mic really is an open mic.
Yeah.
Because unless you murder there, I don't know if you're getting like a hey, it's a
Yeah. You got to really blow the doors off the.
yeah.
You kind of walk out
Comedy
of potluck and they're like, yeah, congratulations, you went up in the OR, and then
Yeah.
I get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's very much that.
Yeah, the Improv is my favorite because it's sort of like communal. There's sort of like a tribal aspect to it that I like because the only people that go to potluck are the 10 that got chosen or whatever.
Yeah.
But the Improv, it's like the fucking town shows up of all comics, all
Yeah.
the open mic, and you see them all, and you run around the same mics together, and like when one of your own gets up, you're like, I
Yeah.
know him.
That's how I felt. You remember the last time we were there, and Hayden Ezzy
Yeah.
just crushed it, and he ended up getting a callback. I was like, oh, that's a win
Yeah.
for like our little circle. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
One of
it's-
ours got in.
That's a
It's
win
always
for
fun.
Badger.
Yeah.
That's a Badger and Jam win. It is funny because I remember at least when I did Podluck and you see the list,
Yeah.
it feels like you're on American Idol.
Uh-huh.
All those auditions. I mean, also the Improv feels like American Idol. all those auditions, all those open mics at the clubs, it just feels like American Idol.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I bombed-
Ryan told me that you guys were sitting down in Carney's trying to get him to not like move back home.
Well,
because
it
he
was-
bombed so bad at the Improv that
It was
you and Luke were like, God, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Luke and I really played parents and tried to hey.
I
don't
thought
know.
it'd be a good idea to try this joke. That was like the first time I really tried it on the stage. And
Yeah.
it was a joke. It was about lucid dreaming, and it just was not even slightly formed into a joke, and it bombed so hard.
Well, you should maybe state what the joke was. You're kind of leaving out a key part of the lucid dream joke there, my friend.
The joke was about lucid dreaming, and it was about how you can, if you're in a dream, like you can do things, and one of the things was like you can have sexual relations with a woman and there's no consequences, and it's something along those lines. I don't know what I can say on YouTube, but and it was really bad.
It was well, here's why it was
Let me hear your perspective of it.
Well, because the big moment from it was you were saying, how much time do I have left? Or maybe you said something like that, and a person in the crowd goes, get off the stage.
Yeah, someone yelled, "Get off the stage."
Someone yelled, "Get off the stage." So it was just a bomb on a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Super embarrassing. Till this day, when I think about it, I
yeah. But,
cringe.
and what was, for me, as funny was we are at Carney's.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke and I are just trying to convince him to do Badger, to do the 9 Badger and Jam.
Because I was gonna go home and drink myself into a hole, but they called me and they're like, "No, you gotta just come get some food."
Yeah.
Just
and
come
then,
get some food.
Well, here's why it was even funny, because you were explaining that it was the first time you tried that joke. It was the first time you ever tried those kind of jokes.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then that's when it hit me. I was like, dude, you can't try new jokes
At the Improv.
at the Improv. It's an audition mic. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And then, but, and then
But you gave me a very important tag.
I gave you a tag, and then when you did it,
I pointed at you and it
yeah,
worked.
you did it, and it worked really well.
Uh-huh.
And am I bummed you haven't done that bit again with the tag I came up with?
I'm never touching it again.
Am I bummed even though the tag works?
No, the tag didn't just work. It fucking completed it. Like, it made it an actual joke instead of me just saying an awful thing.
Got a lot of laughs. So
It did.
Sorry,
No
you don't
big
do
deal or anything.
sorry you don't do a joke that works. That maybe works.
I don't have the balls. Luke Walls brought this up the other day. He was like, he brought up that joke, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I cannot touch that. I think I'm just too scarred. It was this crazy feeling of like the worst I've ever felt in my whole life to then I'm at Badger and I just crushed with it.
Yeah.
And it was just this weird fucking roller coaster that I'm like, I don't want to fucking get on that ride again. I'll stick to what I know, I think. But yeah, thank you for that tag. Even though,
Well, yeah, even though you know you're never going to use it, even though I saved your,
Yeah.
Luke and I saved your life, and I saved your joke. So
you did.
yeah, you know,
Saved your whole career,
it's
basically.
actually not a, you think it's a bad joke, but and that's not anymore. When I came in,
No, you made it a good joke.
yeah, no, but I understand. It was I totally get it. But that was a great bonding moment.
It was a bonding moment. It was a
bonding
learning
moment for the three of
experience.
us. It was a fun. That was definitely one of the. Because I mean, I definitely like knew you knew, but I definitely
Yeah,
felt
we
like
didn't know
that-
each other that well.
That well, I think that was one of the first like.
We really sort of sat down and talked that night at Carney's and then at Badger after.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of I don't look at it. I mean, I look at it as a fun night. I had a good time at both times.
Yeah, I only had fun at one time, and that
Yeah,
was after.
it was definitely a moment. It was a moment for sure.
Ugh.
That only you will remember, and that only you, me, and Luke Walls.
And some lady that yelled at me on stage at the
I don't
Improv.
even think they'll remember that.
Probably not. I remember I didn't go to the Improv for like a month after that because I wanted enough time to go by to where they would forget.
Yeah.
And then I've done very well there.
Well, if you have to think about worst jokes that have ever been done at the Improv open mic, that is probably the 5,000th.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Worst joke.
It's
Maybe,
all in my
and
head.
that's maybe being generous.
Yeah.
That's a generous thing. I'm just
I
saying.
can think of one joke at the Laugh Factory that happened that was probably worse than yours, but
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
that one was pretty bad.
I mean, there was one host at one of the Improv open mics that was just flat out just being racist and just being
Oh, yeah?
awful. I forget.
Dude, there's nothing worse than the guy that tries to take like the funny racist angle and it just lands as racist.
Yep.
You're just like, dude, you're not that good to walk that final line. Like,
No,
that's,
you need to know like what you're about, I think.
Yeah.
And I think I pushed that a bit with that joke. And that's not me. That's nothing like anything I have ever done. My jokes are very silly
Yeah.
and
You joke about dollies and refrigerators that aren't heavy and
yes,
stuff.
yes, and then I just pull that out of nowhere. I feel like it might have been a left field and something I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, I think there is an interesting thing where, I think one of the interesting things is the mindset of wanting to do a like race joke.
Yeah.
There is something inherently a little. I mean, I don't meaning you shouldn't do those, but I do think there's an interesting psychological of wanting to always do those kind. I mean, and if they're funny, they're funny. There's definitely been jokes where that's funny, but
It's such a spicy topic that you have to nail it to really get at it.
Well, I mean, you could argue it's not fair, but I do think the most fair point of it is if it's funny, then you did a funny joke. If it's bad, you did a racist joke.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair.
Yeah,
and
that's a fair assessment.
It's a fair. I think that's the fairest of fair assessments.
It doesn't get more fair than stand-up. It's like if you did good. If you sucked, fuck you. Like,
Yeah, but always remember, and here's the one thing. Here's I know I'm not an elder statesman, but remember, if you do bad on a show, it's never your fault. It's always the audience. That's one
That's
thing.
right. That's right. Yeah.
Just remember that, like, if you do bad, it's not because of you. It's because the audience.
Yeah. They couldn't grab the scope of your
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They just, yeah.
It's because the stage was too weird. The ceilings were too not high enough or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is
never
to be good enough to where it is actually the audience and not you.
That's one of the things I love about stand-up is the immediate feedback.
Yeah.
Like if you want to know whether or not you're doing well, immediately.
Yeah.
Up on stage.
I love, at least, because the place I work at, they've been doing shows at, they've ever been to 3 clubs? 3 of clubs?
No.
It's a very tiny little club on Santa Monica and Vine, but it's a small crowd, not a big crowd. And Dana Gould,
Yeah.
he has performed there a few times, and he's very odd. He does very kind of odd, like he's just kind of out there. And I'll watch him, and like some of the crowd's really loving it, but there's sometimes he'll be doing it, and the crowd just doesn't get it. And it's the funniest thing.
It's even funnier.
I told him, like,
it's
even funnier because it's just like 20 people in the crowd not understanding that a genius is you've been given a genius on your hands and
you're too stupid to understand.
I mean, he did a bit, I remember, he did a bit at Supernova. It was about anal beads, and he just started yelling, anal beads! And he got off stage and was just walking through the audience screaming,
Anal beads,
and like about it. And I went to him and was like, that was one of the funniest things I've seen, and if all my friends were here, we would have been crying.
That's awesome.
Because no one was really people didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy when someone is just legit being incredible, and no one is understanding.
Yes.
Watching your friend bomb is sometimes like the best gym you can get.
My favorite of those is it was like maybe sophomore year of college. It was like a college open mic, and this guy, one of the guys. One of my friends, Nate Shue, a legend. He did.
Shout out Nate.
He did this bit where he brought on a flute, and he would do one-liners, and in between every one-liner, he would play "Smoke on the Water" on the flute. So he would say a joke, and they go do 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 do. You ever notice that when and no one was laughing, but
That's hilarious.
But my roommate and I were dying because like the jokes weren't good. That was maybe what was better. Some of the jokes were not good, but some of them were so dumb they were amazing, and more people were laughing at my friend Billy laughing.
Yeah.
But also, I think he had stated that he was pretty good at the flute. He was terrible at the flute, but he would just do
If you're
one.
playing Smoke on the Water, it's the first thing you learn when you learn flutes.
It
It's
was
like
just,
hot cross buns for a wind and.
but it was like the first. He would play that and then do a joke, and it was like one of the great. And some people like hated it because I think they just didn't like him.
Oh my god! I remember. I'll never forget this. It was the hardest I've ever laughed at stand-up, and this was back in Nashville at Third Coast Comedy Club. There was this dude who went up, and he was like an open micer. He probably quit. Like he was like older, and he did this joke about. His whole set was about like
TV remotes.
Yeah, he was like, when you get older, like you start to forget things. You start to, lose your memory a bit. And he did this whole joke about like, I can't find my keys. Sometimes I don't know where my keys are. And then he led into like, I lose the TV remote all the time. Bombing the whole 4 minutes and 30 seconds of bombing. And then his big punchline was he was like, I can't remember where the TV remote was, and he was like, "Where's my phone?" And he pulls out the TV remote from his pocket, and I started crying, laughing. I almost had to walk out because he had it in his pocket the whole time.
But it wasn't.
He drove there with it.
Yeah, it wasn't just in the pocket. He put it in his pocket and got in his car and drove to the open mic
with
and
it on the seat
and
sitting
sat
there.
in the audience, and then his name got pulled, and then he went up there and he's like, "Here's my big closer," and pulled out his home remote.
And I fucking almost had to walk out the room. I was laughing so hard.
I'm gonna tell that joke to my roommate. That's something he would do. Like he loves shit
Hilarious.
Like that. That's brilliant.
And it was just funny because bombing for 4.5 minutes.
There was another guy. I think we were touching on this early on the podcast. I think his name's Armand or something. But we were at the Improv one time, and this guy went up in like a full duck-tailed suit. Mm-hmm. He was playing a conductor, and his whole 4 minutes, or I guess at the Improv it'd be like 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
His whole bit was playing orchestra and then pantomiming fellatio like he was directing the concert, And the punchline was that at the very end he took a bow and then like spit yogurt out of his face like it was cum.
And it was hilarious.
And that wasn't the funny thing. It was the fact that he like took the gulp before he went on stage and had it in there the whole time and pantomimed fellatio and then bowed and then it came out. It was the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
The work is what's funny. It's like he went to the store, bought yogurt, put it in his fridge.
Got a suit fitted for him.
Drove to the Improv with yogurt and then like went to the bathroom and put yogurt in his mouth and it was like by the side of the stage and the whole time you're like, just the fucking effort was hilarious.
Oh, commitment is always... again, that's why you should go to the Tomorrow Show
Yeah.
hosted by Ron Lynch, because it's all those bits are, just committing to the. I mean, you got to be committed if you're doing that seizure bit I said earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit is. It's one of the best bits I've ever. A lot of people there are like.
We'd
that.
love to go with you one day, man. If you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
when is it? When is it?
They
go?
do it every Saturday at midnight at
Okay.
the Elysian.
That's pretty
it's
late.
It's a really fun show. I haven't gone in a minute. It's a really fun show.
Right on.
Well, hey Stanley. Usually we don't get into this because we kind of know our guests a little more when they come on. But like, how did you get into stand-up comedy? Like how did you start?
Let's think. Okay, so I weirdly never got into stand-up until freshman year of college. I never really watched that much stand-up. I was into writing and like. I think I always wrote things, and I guess I was more acting. But the college I went to, Emerson College, shout out, they had this. They had started my senior year. They had just started a major called comedic arts, where you have a major in comedy. When I got there,
That's pretty tight.
when I got there, it was really like it'd be like if you just studied acting and writing, but it was all comedy based. There was also comedy history.
Nice.
They were trying to start that. And so I think and I was planning on applying there for acting, but I kept coming back to that major. And I was like, I want to do this. And my mom's like, all right, so what the fuck are you going to do? And then we made this short. I got in. And so we were in a class, and this was the real name. The class was called Wide the Chicken. It was really
That was the name of the college course?
Yeah, it was fundamentals of comedic storytelling. It was just a sketch writing class. Taught by this guy, Mike Bent, who was a comic. I think he was a big comic kind of in Massachusetts areas, in school in Boston. And he was like a magician / comedian, a lot of props, really funny guy. But we did sketches, and there was just a section of the class where we were going to do stand-up. You had to write a few minutes. And so...
And did you ever think about stand-up?
Never thought about it.
That
I had
point?
only thought about stand-up because when I got there and started meeting the people who I'm now friends with, a lot of them were stand-ups.
Yeah.
I had no knowledge of the stand-up world. I had maybe watched a little stand-up, maybe a bit of Chappelle and Chris Rock. I was barely. I had no...
Like just the staples, just the...
I was never... It's not that I was not into it. I mean, I remember watching Eddie Murphy as a kid because I had this... I had this DVD of Eddie Murphy, like the best of him on SNL, and then it made me want to watch a bit of his stand-up. But nothing ever clicked with me with stand-up.
Yeah.
So then going to college and being around people who were stand-up, but it was this class, and I did stand-up. And I did decently well, and I like... Little bug. It was just a little thought. And then I remember for our final for that class, you could do whatever you want. And I just did stand-up.
How long did you get?
I think I did like 6 minutes.
Right on.
And I
That's good. Yeah.
I think I did it like a few times, and I was very excited. I posted it on like Facebook, got a lot of comments.
Yeah.
People genuinely liked it. And so I started doing open mics mainly at my college. I was afraid to go into the real Boston world. I went to an open mic in Boston a few times, but I just was too scared. I never did it enough, as much as I wanted to.
I feel that.
I did, and so that's how it started. Really, and then pandemic happens. I go back home.
You come back here to LA.
Come back here to LA, and then in the last year and a half, I started doing the open mics.
You've been really hitting it hard.
Really hitting it, and the reason why and how I got the Supernova job was this was during the pandemic. We did these programs where you were put with an alumni who was kind of relative to your field, and do you know Dan Levy?
I know that name. I don't know.
He's a comic. He was a comedian, and he's currently doing really. He's a comic. He's been Mulaney's opener for his tour. He was a writer on Whitney Cummings' show. He created a show on
I've
NBC.
heard that name for sure.
He was really successful comic at the time. When we was doing the Advisor, he was doing more TV. He was coming up with shows and stuff. But we kept in touch. Our group kept in touch. And post pandemic, he started going back to doing stand up a lot more. And we went to see him at Supernova. And I would email from time to time if you had any jobs opening up where you work, like a assistant, whatever. And and he knew I wanted to do stand up, so he gave me the guy who ran Supernova's email. and then the rest is his.
Nice.
So I owe everything to him.
Wow.
So that's how I got that. But so that's how strictly college was how I discovered and got
Right on.
more into stand up, and
A
then
college in Boston got you a Supernova gig in L.A. That's nuts.
yeah, it was crazy. But that's how I got in, and then now.
You've been hitting it heavy for maybe a year and a half now.
Yeah, so I sometimes, even though I get technically started 5 years ago,
yeah.
I don't feel comfortable saying.
We kind of have the same thing.
I was just about to say it's the same thing because we started technically in 2019 in Nashville.
Yeah.
And we were in it for like 9 months.
But it was also only like once a week for 9 months.
Yeah,
and then sometimes you wouldn't get called, so you wouldn't get
yeah,
out.
so you wouldn't really do it. And then we decided to move out to LA, and and then the pandemic happened, and we were like, nah, it'll be like 2 months, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We
and
moved
then
out.
we didn't do stand up for like a year and a half, 2 years. Or something.
And so
Weird.
so right now we've been doing stand up in LA longer than we started doing stand up in Nashville. Now at this point.
But we did enough stand up in Nashville to get the bug, get the excitement, and plan to move to LA. Like, we're doing this. Like, we were really in it in Nashville for a sec, and we were like, we're moving to LA, and then pandemic, and then we had already planned to move, but the pandemic was weird, so we were like, fuck it, let's just move anyways. This will pass. Moved here. Didn't touch a stage for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then we started doing sidewalk mics.
Oh my God.
Fucking awful sidewalk mics where a car would fucking drive by you.
Yeah.
Every punchline was punctuated by.
Yeah.
And
They had the stupid little condom on top of the mic. You know?
And there was literally four people
On a sidewalk.
in
in Santa Monica.
From there, it progressed, and we found Badger, and then we met. Now we're here.
Now we're at episode 78
Yep.
of Bombing Podcast.
Oh yeah.
You said you really like Jesselnick. Who's a couple other people you like?
I've been watching, at least he's come to where I work, Dana Gould a lot. I fucking love him. He's brilliant, really out there. Pete Holmes I really enjoy.
Yeah.
He's really funny. My favorite stand-up special ever, I think, like without a doubt, is the Ali Wong Baby Cobra.
Yeah?
Her first
Is
special.
that the one where she's pregnant?
The first one. She has
Oh,
two
okay.
specials where she's pregnant. The
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one, that is like a 10 out of 10 special.
I haven't seen
also
that one.
really enjoy Michelle Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing. She has one special that's one of my favorites. I remember I went to see Chris Rock, and she was one of the openers.
Nice.
And she was as good as he was. She was brilliant. I mean, there's the obvious, like, if you don't say Dave Chappelle's one of the greats, you're crazy.
But that's boring. Who wants to talk about that? Everyone knows
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I made me want to bring up, I was at the show when he got tackled at the Hollywood Bowl. I saw that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I saw that go down live.
Damn.
It was a crazy, it was, a few days later, I remember just thinking like, wow, I was at history. It was a historic moment. Of,
Yeah. It's like seeing Kennedy getting
Yeah.
shot.
It's like that moment
It was-
and 9/11.
It was it was weird. It was wild. I will say, I'll give the guy who tackled him this. People say like, oh, you can't say jokes, people will hurt you. He waited till after his set. Chappelle was done when he got tackled. He was bringing up Black Star.
Wow.
Mos Def and Talib Kweli. He was bringing it up, and as he was bringing it up, he got tackled. So I'll give the guy who tackled him this. He waited. He heard everything Chappelle had to say and was like, okay, now I'm going to tackle you. So
He was a gentleman.
in terms of storming the stage, one of the most respectful stormings of a stage I've ever seen. He waited to the end. But I'm trying to think of others. Yeah, Michelle, I'm trying to think of, I don't know. I'm trying. Pete Holmes.
Yeah, Chappelle's obvious.
But Pete
he's not one
Holmes-
of my guys, though.
Yeah, Pete Holmes. Jesselnick is my favorite. Like, that's an easy. I'm trying
My
to.
guy's Brian Regan.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who. Eddie Pepitone. Really funny.
I don't know who that is.
Very similar in the Dana Gould. Really odd. Really just weird. Just like he's just yelling, and then all of a sudden he'll go really quiet. Like it's just an odd. Well, I'll show you a little bit after. He's really weird, but
Yeah, please
I
do.
enjoy that like out of the box. Hassan Minhaj, I really enjoy. I really like his special. I saw him live. He's really. It's much more one man showy.
Yeah.
So I can understand why. And it gets a little. It can get a little serious from time to time, but
I don't mind serious. I actually don't mind serious.
I appreciate that, and then I appreciate that. I don't mind the like kind of, sort of like, little bit of drama, a little more the one kind of more one man show.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that's how they did. I mean, it's interesting. I'm trying to.
I like Neil Brennan a lot. I've been getting into him a
he's
lot recently.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like every time he's up.
He's a little one man showy kind of, or
Yeah.
maybe his last two.
Well,
have
Three
been.
Mics has a bit of a one-man showy
Yeah.
aspect to it, but I think it's great. I really enjoy it.
There's nothing I love more than just silly, fucking like Regan. That's my guy. No one has made me laugh more than Brian Regan.
Oh, Theo Vaughn probably has made me laugh the
Yeah, I
hardest.
I love Theo Vaughn.
When he comes on, I have a really funny Theo Vaughn story
Yeah?
at the Bourbon Room. We're outside in the back of the Bourbon Room, and it's like me, him, Nate, I think also Melissa Villasenor, the girl on SNL. She does stand-up too. She's really very great impressions, really funny. We are outside, and Theo Vaughn was talking about edibles.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few weeks before, I don't think I told you guys, I had a psychotic, I ate half of a cupcake that had like hundreds and hundreds of grams.
Oh,
no.
Jesus. I had a full, like, I was seeing things that weren't there. I was twitching, thought I was going to die. I threw up. And I was telling my friends, like, I was freaking out. And I was like, my parents used to be drug addicts, so they kind of know what to do in those situations. But I kept saying to my roommate, don't call my mom.
Yeah.
Don't call. I couldn't even open my eyes.
Yeah.
Don't call my mom. Don't call my mom. And then I opened my eyes. My parents are there.
Oh.
And no, they were very helpful.
Okay, good.
I remember though my dad came in and I started going, fuck! Fuck! Why?
Isn't that wild that no matter how old you get, you're still like mad that your dad's disappointed?
yeah.
You're
God
like,
damn it.
fuck, god damn it, dad's
Here's
here.
a great
Fuck.
example of how fucked up I was during this moment. I remember I like my eyes just cut to black. I wake up, I like open my eyes and I go, what time is it? And they go, when the edible started really hitting badly, it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I close my eyes, I open them, and I go, what time is it? And I was like, it's 2 in the morning. It's like, it's 2 in the morning. I close my eyes again, and I go, all right, what time is it? It goes, it's 10:30. So the 2 in the morning wasn't real.
Oh my god.
That wasn't real. So I am telling this entire story to Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
And he just looks at me and goes, you're fucking retarded, man. I love it. And I just thought, this is the best moment of my life. I just got called retarded by Theo Vaughn. This
That's
is the
like a
best-
rite of
It's the
passage.
highest accolade you can get.
Yeah, so that was just a Theo. I've never seen anyone kill harder than Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
Than one time at Bourbon Room. I mean, he is just so funny. I mean, yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. But
Dude is
Mulaney's
a funny
really.
dude.
He was coming a lot to Bourbon Room a lot.
I
doing
saw a
his-
few posts you made.
Yeah, so he was great.
Was he doing his Baby J hour, or was that new shit?
It was stuff I think that was cut out. Some of because I saw him also at the Hollywood Bowl doing that hour,
Right on.
and he did some of the things. It was also really funny because I remember listening to him on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and he was talking about how, I'll be at Bourbon Room, and I'm just in the back, just thinking to myself, I'm not funny. I don't have it.
Yeah.
And I just find that funny because I've seen him in the back at Bourbon Room, so I've seen him when he's thinking to himself,
Yeah.
like, I don't got it.
So how's a guy like that think that, like, I don't
I mean, I
have
think
it?
that's just a thing that sticks with you forever, like, even...
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's like you don't. You could be you could be Theo Vaughn, but he's still.
Oh, he really I've seen it. He really like kind of not doubts himself. He's like, "You think that was good?"
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Dude, you were great."
Yeah.
But I think that's with all. They talked about.
Self-critical, very.
I think they
very
talked
much.
about. Not to be. I think Scorsese said this, but he mentioned. Do you know Kurosawa, the director? He's like considered one of the greatest directors. If you said who's the greatest director ever, he would probably come up with a lot of film bros.
Okay.
What's his name?
Akira Kurosawa, he made Seven Samurai. He's just considered when you consider foreign filmmakers, film bros would maybe put him as the greatest filmmaker ever.
Right on.
And he's in his 80s and he gets his honorary Oscar and he said, I think I just now am starting to get how to make movies.
Oh wow.
So I
Yeah,
think
because you never figure it out.
but I think that's just as you get, that's still, and I think that's what makes a great artist is the curiosity and still not being self-critical, but if there's a
It's
how-
like I'm always not good enough.
yeah, how can I be better? It's a how can I be better, and that
Yeah. That's how you got there in the first place.
Yeah.
Because imagine you get off stage at Badger and you did whatever, and you're like, I just killed.
yeah.
I just killed. It's like, no, you're delusional.
Yeah.
You need to really.
Yeah, you need to shut the goddamn up.
Yeah, I'm super self-critical, and even if I've done really well on stage, but I've gotten off and I've gone I did this wrong. This fucking sucked.
I stuttered here.
Definitely have that.
I looked to the left too many times. Weird, crazy thing. things that no one else notices. It's just me.
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of stand-ups.
That's definitely a lot.
Yeah, you and Martin Scorsese.
Me and him.
You and Marty.
We're both.
Peas in a pod.
You and Marty.
It's
I'm-
nuts.
I'm
It's weird.
think-
It's like
yeah.
the craziest fucking thing. I never imagined doing stand-up. I always thought it was interesting, but I was like, I'm not that guy, you know. But it's crazy being as self-critical as I am and as closed off as I feel like I am, while simultaneously being the guy on stage in the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fucking wrap my head
No,
around
they go
it.
hand in hand, though. I mean, that's the thing. The narcissism comes out of deep insecurity.
Yeah.
And I've always considered myself a negative narcissist. I think a lot about myself in a negative way, that's just as bad as being, a regular narcissist. They're the same
A
thing.
positive
No matter
narcissist,
what,
yeah.
you're unbearable
Uh-huh.
to be around. If you're just constantly shitting on yourself or constantly praising yourself, so I think, all of that comes from deep insecure,
But imagine being that insecure,
and still huge and huge.
then you're fucking walking up on a stage in front of 100 people,
Yeah.
and being like, "I'll take control," when inside you're like, "I have control of nothing." It's fucking insane.
I think a big part of that also is, when people say stand up is hard, like I think sometimes you think it can't be hard, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like I think there's always just a never giving yourself credit.
No,
for,
you're right.
So it's like you could like climb Mount Everest and someone will be like, "Wow, that's really hard." And I was like, in your head you're thinking it can't be. I did it.
Yeah.
You fucking piece of shit. I
You're
did it.
so right.
So
You're
I think
so
it's
right.
I think it's just if you have that kind of mindset, or at least the goal in life is to fight that mindset. But
Yeah.
no matter what, you could sell out Madison Square Garden and be like, this can't be.
Yeah. If I did it, fucking anyone
Like
can.
you just said, it's that constant battle of like doing the best set of your entire life in front of like 50 people, and then walking off stage and going like, I fucking suck at this. I'm the fucking worst.
It's still me.
I'm a big piece of
Yeah.
shit.
And
Fuck
then
me.
I
dude.
just go home and I'm in bed and with me again,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Damn it.
yeah.
Yeah, and you go to the same spot next week, and you're like, "Hey, what about fucking dollies are weird?" Right?
And then when you also, it's the same when you bomb. When you bomb, it's like I knew it. Like you tell yourself, like
Yeah.
everything I thought was correct. I stink,
Yeah.
I'll have one set a month. Well, like I'll do really well. I'll walk off and be like, "I think I finally figured this out." And it's so the swiftness with which that is
It's so
swept
quickly.
away. It's like I'll feel that for like not even 24 hours. I'll go on the next night. I'm just like, "What am I doing? Why did I even move here?"
Yeah, I definitely.
The up and downs of it is so nuts. The highs and lows, like I can't even explain it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Stand up is such a unique, weird thing, and to even try to be cool for a second talking about it instantly makes you lame.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I try
Lot up
my
and
hardest when people that don't do stand-up try to ask me about it. I feel very uncomfortable talking.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm not, I just don't feel the right, feel like I don't have the right to say anything.
Yeah, no, I have a hard time, and I've noticed this with comedians, I have a hard time, giving it up for myself, giving me the credit, hey, you fucking just did a set at the Comedy Store. Yeah, but I don't know, that's my reaction always, I feel like.
No, I
It's
definitely.
like, dude, it's like fucking, let yourself fucking enjoy something for once.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, fuck it, yeah,
Yeah, but why give yourself
It's
any
tough.
more-
I have little glimpses. I can, it comes very quickly where it's like, I don't know, I can't bask in an accomplishment. It's just like, yeah, that was awesome. Oh, right on.
On to the next.
And then it's
Yeah.
over.
yeah.
Yeah, I felt that way. I think also with the main room spot, because I was like, it was one of the ones I was like, all right, I'm gonna actually give myself credit for that. I was because I did well. I definitely did well, and but I remember thinking to myself, don't say you did well. I was
Yeah.
like, don't say you did well, because
I think that's what you need friends for, because you need friends
yeah.
in the friends in general, but also friends in stand-up to be like, no, you did well. Like, you fucking did well, dude.
And there's definitely been moments where people have said things to me where I was like, oh, this is enough to keep me going.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely moments where it's like, oh, this will be enough to keep me going for
Yeah.
years. Just this little, just that one person saying something,
Yeah. I told myself, this is insane. I told myself the first time I got up at the Comedy Store to not fucking destroy my like the memory. Like I was like, I'm giving myself this. Like this is a win. Like you win, Ryan. Congratulations. Because like my whole life led up to that moment. It felt like in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like my whole childhood and whatever you want to call it, like led up, found stand-up, found myself as a person, I feel like, and moved to Los Angeles and fucking for the Comedy Store. And I did it, my first set at the Comedy Store, and I did fucking good. And I was like, I'm giving myself this. Like, you can't take this away from me. Like,
Yeah.
And so that first set at the store, like, holds a little special place in my heart. And
then a week later, someone's like, "Nice set, dude."
yeah,
like right after you
whatever.
bombed.
Yeah, and I just bombed the next day.
Oh,
But
brutal.
Yeah.
Stanley, thank you for coming on once again, man. Seriously.
No, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I cannot wait to do this again.
It's
Cheers.
been great. It's been great seeing you.
Yeah.
Getting to know you.
Yeah.
Seeing you around town. You're fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Same to the both of you, man.
I love watching you, man. You crack me up. I just can't be more grateful for this little, I don't know what you want to call it, Badger and Jam.
It's this weird
tribe.
little circle that we have going on, and it all circles around that weird open mic in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And with that, it's just every single guest that you've seen on this podcast was all through just that kind of circle of guys. It's Tom Kelly, it's Nick Tony, it's Luke Walls, it's Elise.
People who we think are fucking funny and
Yeah.
like can really fucking take it the distance and,
Yeah.
and who are serious about it.
Yeah. Thank God most of our friends are funny.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. And
Emphasis on most.
yeah, talking about Nick Tony. No.
No,
Psych.
Like, we love you, Nick. And,
Love you, Nick.
It's not like we enjoy how sensitive you get. I don't know what you're talking about.
We love you, Nick. We're
We
just
love you, Nick.
joshing around,
Yeah.
man. But
and for all 119 of our subscribers,
pretty good.
go check out all of Stanley's stuff. I don't know if you have anything posted.
I have nothing, and I have a friend that keeps telling me I should, so I hope I take this opportunity
Yeah,
to
you ought to, man.
start posting more.
You should.
You want to plug your Instagram, fucking YouTube, whatever?
You know what? Follow me on Instagram at Lostangeles98, LOSTANGELES 98.
Nice.
Long, I know. If you want to see me post pictures of a dog that's not mine, follow that. And then the occasional boomerang of me at an open mic.
Also, the occasional amazing clip of you walking up onto the main room of the Comedy Store.
But
and
mostly
Jeff Ross
boomer-
bringing you up.
True, but mostly boomerangs of me at one specific open mic, just to let everyone know, hey, I'm out there grinding. Are you? Which is really what the point of those are.
That's it. Be like me. You see the boomerang.
You see the boomerang.
Yeah.
You have a show coming up, Hayden.
I actually do. I have a date to plug.
Plug it.
I have a date to plug.
Plug it up,
I'm going to
man.
be at Comedy Boulevard, which is actually on Beverly Boulevard, here in Los Angeles, August 11th at 8 p.m. I'm sure by the time this comes out, I'll have the tickets.
The banner out.
The banner out.
They haven't
yeah.
made the banner yet.
Yeah, but August 11th, I'll be at Comedy Boulevard here in Los Angeles. So, if you want to come see me, that's the place to do it.
Do that. And I'll be there.
do
I'll
it.
be at the same place, Comedy Boulevard, just the week after. What
Yeah.
day is that? The 17th?
The 45th, I think.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. August 45th.
August 45th.
I'll be at Comedy Boulevard August 45th. I don't know. It's the week after the 11th. I don't know numbers.
Yeah, but come see me though.
And I'll be at Comedy Boulevard on August 21st, 2024.
Oh, wow.
Oh, if they booked that far out in
That's
advance, that's
insane.
nuts.
Well, they just knew. They knew.
They knew that by then.
Yeah, they knew by then.
They
Oh,
want
yeah.
you to.
I
They really
would've-
want you to get butts and seats there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! You got any real dates to plug for all
I think
119 of these guys?
No, I don't have anything on yet.
Well, you
No.
can see all of us every single Wednesday night. Badger and Jam.
9 to 10.
9 to 10. There was that. Were you guys there for that one show where that one guy had all his friends there?
I was.
He was. I
yes.
wasn't there.
Yes, you were there for that.
I was.
The Legend of the Badger and Jam actual show.
And that guy ate shit.
that guy was.
He ate a bag of fucking ball sack. That guy
How
stank.
many people did he bring? I heard it was fucking
filled all the seats.
packed.
Dude, 20. Dude,
Wow.
there were people like lining up against the wall. You know, like we'll lean against the wall before we go on, like
Yeah.
coming to the stage.
We stood
It
there.
Yeah, it was that just like wrapped around the room.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Jesus, who was this fucking guy?
A nobody. He
I
stank.
think that's his name, but I was very excited. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That was one of my
That was good.
one of my favorite Badger and Jam moments.
Yeah. So hey, if you're in LA, I don't know how many of our 119 subscribers
Pretty good.
are in Los Angeles. If you're in LA, come to Badger and Jam in West Hollywood.
We talk about it nonstop on this podcast.
Yeah,
Come Wednesday nights, 9 to 10. Just
It's free if you're not getting up. It's free. It's
It's
totally
com-
free.
Yeah,
Completely
we
free.
pay to be there.
That's
you
right.
won't.
exactly. Yeah. Just come and hang out if you want to see us do comedy. That's the best spot to do it.
And if you're cool, you'll do the classic walk down to the Comedy Store and get a beer afterwards.
yeah, and if you're a nerd, we'll just rip on you and you'll go home crying as
Yeah.
you should.
If you want to follow me, my Twitter name's also long. I don't know. I gotta
Yeah.
come up with shorter names.
Is it different than your Instagram?
It's different. It's Table for Hamina. I don't know if you know that SpongeBob reference.
What on fucking earth are
pretty
you
long.
talking about?
It's a very niche SpongeBob
No,
reference.
I know the reference.
Is that the
I know
hamina?
Yeah. Table for Hamina. I can seat you.
I like that you went with the bit.
Yeah.
You wanted a name, you went with the bit.
I want to. I need.
That's a lot of hoopla for a Twitter name.
Okay, we're gonna end here.
All right. Yeah, we gotta end it because if we're gonna do SpongeBob references, we'll be here all night. And it'll just be me.
Stanley,
How am I supposed to do this podcast without my drink?
yeah,
Right?
where's my drink?
All right, gentlemen.
That's it, man.
This has been episode 78 of Bombing Podcast. Stanley, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. I just gotta say, are you guys feeling it now?
Are you feeling it
I
now?
am Mr. Krabs, yeah. I'm feeling the Orba confusion. I'm a little if you know what I'm saying. All right, that's it. No more references.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.